Hi. In the previous video of this Insights and Action Plan lesson, we learned what's an insight, okay, how an insight is generated, types of insights, and then we discovered how is the process of generating insights by humans. Okay, today we will be focusing on how advanced insights or advanced analytics insights are generated and how to tell a story in order to better convince your teammates, your bosses, your directors, customers, etc., about importance of this insight and which benefits could we expect from it. Okay? So, advanced analytics are sometimes artificial intelligence generated insights or machine learning generated insights using advanced tools or programming languages. Okay? And those insights can be more has more speed, scalability, data-driven analysis. They could be 100% objective based on data and results, and not include or it should not include subjectivity. Okay, and these models could be 24/7 ready to do analysis about on the data. Okay, but it has some weaknesses too. Okay, it has a lack of creativity or innovation. Okay, so the AI generated insights are behaving, or the behavior is like it was programmed or coded in the past. Okay, the models are learning, they are improving constantly, frequently, but they are restricted to the in terms of creativity or originality. Okay, then the context you have to tell the I generated so this tool how is exactly the context, and depending on the prompt that you are using to tell it will take maybe 20% or 40% as maximum of the context. Okay, because there are a lot of things that we know, that we feel, that we notice that can affect the result that these analytics are not taking into account, like bad relation between departments or some previous results that we had with this product or with this project, or some aspects that this model is not taking into account. Okay. Also, there are some ethical considerations, okay, and over reliance on data. Okay. So, for example, ethical consideration, the sales are decreasing. Okay, so maybe the model says to you, okay, as the car sales are decreasing at 20%, you need to fire 20% of the sales team. Maybe it's an insight or an idea that has that the machine tell to you. Well, maybe this could be the last decision or the last option. First, we could see, okay, what can we do with to rise sales, or are there other options with that teammates? Could we move them to other division? Could we move them to other company inside the group? Is it possible to um, give them some leave of absence, or to give them holidays for 2 weeks until the situation has recovered? I don't know. There are other considerations, and sometimes the AI can give you some actions that maybe a human could have a more senseful decision. Okay. Well, there are 6 steps in advanced analytics insights. Okay, the first one, as you remember, we discovered in the first or second lesson of big data. We discovered the ETL process and how everything works inside the artificial intelligence and the different tools that we could use. Okay, so the steps in AI insights are first, the artificial intelligence as can gather, take data from multiple sources. Okay, we can connect that artificial intelligence to the data warehouses or data lakes where we have all of the data sets. Also, we can connect it to other websites or APIs that could be connected also to the data lake, not, maybe not, okay. But these solutions that provide advanced analytics also offer you to connect to different data sources, okay, and prepare the data for use. Okay? Then data is cleaned, formatted to ensure accuracy. Okay, then so it's the first is extract. Now it's transforming and loading it, and then we should select or choose, as in the previous lessons, the fields or the variables that we are modeling or doing calculations based on it. Okay. Then the artificial intelligence algorithms learn from the data that we have shared with them in order to make predictions or classify data. Okay. Then this system, it's recognizing patterns and identifying anomalies and analyzing the data and the information that it's delivering in order to produce actionable insights. Okay? And then that insights are presented through dashboards, reports, and final recommendations to action. Okay? In my opinion, the best option is not either human insights or advanced analytics or artificial intelligence analytics. The best option is to combine both. Okay, because human insights are giving to us some creativity, intuition, contextual understanding, okay, that can create meaningful solutions or better solutions. And advanced analytics provide us with a deeper analysis of data and pattern recognition techniques that the human brain will take more time to discover by themselves. Okay, so merging human insight and advanced analytics will guide us to augmented or improved decisions. Here there's a sentence that it's interesting. Is data is the raw ingredient, information is the recipe, and insight is the meal that fits strategy. Okay, I would like to tell you the differences between data, information, and insight. That sometimes we confuse the terms or use them in the same way. Okay, but they are slightly differences. Okay, so here regarding to data, it's unprocessed facts, figures, signals, numbers. Okay, raw data. Then it's contextless, so it doesn't have context. They are isolated numbers or values in different databases or data sets. Okay, and it doesn't have a meaning. Okay, so it's yeah, it's an example. 45% of users exit the app. This is a data. Okay, it's a fact. Okay, then information is when we take that data, okay, clean it, categorize it, transform it, structure it, and it allows us to have descriptive and some interpretable ideas about what happened. Okay, so it's not just a number like 45% of users exit the app. In this case, is most exits happen on the registration screen. Okay, we have another yeah, we have more details here about the issue and where it's happening. Okay, and then an insight needs a deeper understanding. Okay, it's focusing on the why. Okay, so the first is what. The information would be the how or where. Okay, and the insight, it's the why. Why is this happening? Okay, and what could we do in order to um, change the situation. That would be the actions to deploy. Okay, so inside the insight, it's the characteristics are that it's contextual, it's non-obvious, some explanatory or predictive, and as an example, it's users abandon, okay, the registration screen because the form lacks a visible privacy policy, reducing perceived trust. Okay, so when we are talking about insights, we expect to generate this type of information. Okay, sorry, the information with this type of sentence or ideas that it's more developed. Sorry for the term information used here. That my English is not that fluid in vocabulary, and sometimes I use simple words. Okay, so what's storytelling? Storytelling, it's as you will see a video from Simon Sinek, which is called "Start with Why" in the leadership lesson inside the last module of the course. In the next module, where he's telling to you that what drives motivation and leads to action in people is the why or the purpose of the company. Okay, and that you should tell a story to the team workers, to your customers, about what you do, and most importantly, why you do what you do. Okay, so here in telling insights and trying to get an approval from the C level of the or your bosses or the business owners or the customers, it's important to communicate in a way where people understand the situation, what is happening, why is this happening, what are we going to do, and which could we expect as a result, the impact. Okay, well, to storytell some insight, first we start with the context, okay, the situation. What's the problem? Okay, so why are we here to listen what you are telling to us? Okay, what's the context and the situation that we are trying to solve here? Okay, well, now that we have the situation, it's time to highlight the findings. Okay, the insights. Which patterns have we noticed, trends, outliers, and values, okay, and explain which are the findings and the insights that we have defined. Okay. Then we should structure the message for sure with a clear beginning, an introduction, then the middle, and the conclusion at the end. Okay, and it's important to support your insights with data that is being visualized. Okay, so sorry. So using graphs, charts, maps, diagrams, dashboards, visually, you will already see. Okay, if you say last week we had 10% more sales. 2 weeks ago we have 15% more of sales. So we have reduced 5% our growth. Yeah, maybe you understand it, but if I put you a bar graph where you are, or a line graph where you are seeing how the results are flowing, you will take it uh, faster and more precisely. Okay, so use chart, maps, and dashboards to support your insights and the story visually. Okay, and then call to action. This is the situation. This is the task that we have to do, or this is the insight. Then, which are the actions and which will be the result or the impact that we will generate. Okay, so call to action, connect the insight to recommendations and decisions. Okay, and move to action. That we will cover action plans in the next lesson, in the next video. Okay, and then from an insight to action, we should frame the opportunity or risk, then define the outcome that we expect, and design evidence-based actions, prioritize that action based on return on investment and feasibility. Okay. Then we should document that hypotheses or assumptions for validation, and we should think like a strategist and not as a data analyst. Okay, thanks.